Perrion Winfrey is a world-class idiot and has been released by the Cleveland Browns this morning after another incident. So here's what we're going to do on today's show. We're going to break down everything we know so far regarding the Perrion Winfrey situation and what happened last night and what led to his release this morning. And then I want to spend the second half of the show kind of going through what this means for the 2023 Browns, right? What they're going to be losing and missing from Perrion Winfrey, which won't be a whole lot. That's a little bit of a secret. And then we're going to talk about some early replacement options, just some free agents that could be on the Browns' radar. But let's start by going through what happened and what we know so far, because Adam Schefter tweeted out this morning, the Browns have now released defensive tackle Perrion Winfrey, who was under investigation for allegedly threatening a woman on Tuesday night. These are allegations, but I watched the Instagram video myself. It's on my Twitter. You can go find it, of hottest white girl, Ohio's hottest white girl. That's what it is. Putting it on her Instagram reel of everything that happened. But here's sort of what went down. So the Browns are moving on from Winfrey because the Cleveland police are investigating Winfrey after an incident on Tuesday evening where he allegedly threatened a woman in a hotel lobby and kind of flashed that he had a gun. At least that's what the women allege. He has not been arrested or charged with any crime at this time, but to me, this is a long time coming. Perrion Winfrey had time after time after time, another second chance, a third chance, and a fourth chance after an extremely shaky rookie season. I mean, you would think as a rookie in the NFL, you would be on your P's and Q's, right? You would be 10 minutes early to meetings, right? First one in, last one out kind of guy, trying to show and prove to your coaches that you have a spot in this locker room. It was anything but that last year for Perrion Winfrey. We're going to run through everything he did his rookie season and all the incidents he ran into. Of course, he got arrested 2 months ago as well. But this is why you subscribe, because when Breaking Browns news happens, we get into the studio, we get you guys a video. I was dropping my dog off at daycare when the news broke. Unfortunately, I had to kick Cruz out of the car. She's tied to a post. No, I would never do that. But make sure to subscribe down below and never miss a Breaking Browns news story. So, I have some takes. I have some thoughts on this, because to me, it sounds like Perrion Winfrey got some real NFL money and he wanted to play gangster or something. I don't understand what he was thinking after getting not a second chance, but probably closer to a third or fourth chance following the incident he had in Houston earlier this summer, where he allegedly kicked down his ex-girlfriend or his girlfriend's door and had a whole run-in with her and whatnot. The charges were dropped. The Browns opted not to release him. But you have to envision that a conversation took place between the Browns and Perrion Winfrey where they told him, hey, we don't want to hear your name again. We don't want to see your name in the news again. Stay under the radar, play good this season, and let's try and put a really rocky first 12 months in the NFL behind us and start getting your act together. Instead, that's not what happened at all. Winfrey, right before training camp gets underway, decides now would be a good time to really play gangster, to really show that I've got a strap, I've got a gun, and let's see how far this can go. So one more time, here are the incidents or the alleged incidents that took place on Tuesday night. There is two women who know Perrion Winfrey to some degree, see him in a hotel lobby. Winfrey doesn't respond after one of them yells an insult at him. And then Winfrey makes a threat showing that he has a gun, insinuating that he could use it. He followed the women outside of the hotel, took place, I believe, at 9th and Euclid, or East 9th and Euclid. Takes the phone from one of them that's recording, and that video is on my Twitter, at Matthew Peterson, from Ohio's hottest white girl, all-time Instagram name. And he left the scene before the police could arrive, so I'm not shocked that no charges have been pressed at this time, right? They kind of just got he said, she said going on here. But Perrion Winfrey, what are you doing? I don't understand how someone could have such an amazing opportunity to play in the National Football League, screw it up, I would say almost 1.5 times so far, right? The halftime was just, or the half of a time, was just all the incidents he had during the season, being a healthy scratch, being late or missing meetings, being late to practice, getting a concussion because he rode a scooter into a lamppost. So that was like half of a screw up because, hey, you're a rookie, you're still young, you're a little bit immature, you're figuring out what it's like to live in a huge city, going from Norman, Oklahoma to Cleveland, Ohio, and getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars and millions of dollars. This is a new type of lifestyle. You might make a mistake or two. I can understand that. That's not unique to Perrion Winfrey, right? He didn't pull a gun or anything like that during his rookie season on someone. There was just some head-scratching moves of, hey, hopefully you can grow out of this and be a valuable member of this team, okay? But then we had the incident in Houston earlier this summer with his ex-girlfriend, his girlfriend of sorts. I'm not quite sure what the relationship was. And that led to files being charged and the Browns going, we don't really have the best public image at this point when it comes to our players and women, but we are going to stick by you, Perrion Winfrey, at least one more time. And hopefully you don't prove us wrong. But instead, Winfrey said, no, hold my beer. Watch this. Just a few months later, right before training camp gets underway, I'm going to let some girls yelling insults at me in a hotel lobby get under my skin. And even though I'm on the absolute thinnest of ice, there's actually no ice anymore. He's like Jesus Christ. He's walking on water. There's no ice. There is no extra excuse or anything like that. And he decides, yep, I'm going to throw away my Cleveland Browns and potential NFL career away because I want to prove, no, I've got a gun. You can't say things to me like that. You know what, Perrion? When you are on your absolute last strike and this is the final straw, you're going to have to stomach people tossing insults your way. I have no idea what they said, and frankly, it doesn't matter what they said. You know that one more screw up, you are off this team. A team that is so special and so talented that is poised to go on a very good run this year, and you decide, let me show these girls who they're dealing with. Way to send a message, Perrion Winfrey. I'm sure you got right to the core of Ohio's hottest white girl in proving that you have a gun and allegedly following her outside, taking her phone, and having some sort of incident with her. You won. Good job, dude. So what's your one-word reaction to the news right now? I know I've gone on a long tangent, but this kind of fires me up because and we're going to get into this in the second half of the video now, the Browns the Browns lost a very good in-house option for future at defensive tackle. And B, who likes to see people screw up, right? I want to see these players be successful in the NFL. They've got a very rare opportunity. Very few people get to this level, and it sucks to see. But I don't feel bad for Perrion Winfrey. No, I don't feel bad for Winfrey one bit at all because he had time after time after time, right? Week 2, he was suspended by the team. We never quite knew why, but there was some buzz about maybe missing a team meeting or being late to a practice or something like that. Week 8, healthy scratch. Week 9, bye. Week 10, healthy scratch. You would think coming out of the bye or going into the bye, he would use that as an opportunity of, hey, well, everyone else is taking a week off. I'm going to prove to my coaches I deserve to dress every single Sunday. I'm going to go above and beyond this week, and I'm going to come back like a Boy Scout and show them that I am someone who can stick around and be a long member of this team. Instead, he's a healthy scratch once again. And then week 11, he runs a little scooter into a lamppost and gets a concussion, which is just unfortunate. I don't think that's like a major screw-up, right? That's just like an all-time baseball off-season injury. But to have it happen on the heels of you already being suspended by the team and being a healthy scratch for 2 straight games, you just can't have that happen. But when it comes to what the Browns are losing from Perrion Winfrey, it's not a whole lot. He had 22 tackles last year, 1 tackle for loss, half a sack, no forced fumbles. I mean, Winfrey's PFF grades improved in the second half of the season compared to the first overall season. I mean, you can see on the left, 41.6 overall PFF grade, which weeks 13 through 18, he had an overall grade of 49.7, which isn't good, but you can at least see how Winfrey ended the year on a high note. And there's a decent level of optimism that, hey, he could turn a corner here, get his act together, and sort of go into next season building off of the way he ended this past season. Instead, he couldn't turn a corner off the field. He had 2 incidents with the law now, it seems like, going into the summer. and he has been removed from this team's roster. So now we talk about this team's roster and the loss of Perrion Winfrey and what it means, because congratulations to Tristan Hill, Maurice Hurst, and Tommy Togiai. There is a new spot up for grabs for the 53-man roster. Jordan Elliott, I think, is a lock to stay now. If he wasn't already a lock, he definitely is now, because they don't need to get thinner at that position. But when it comes to replacements, this might be a bit of a blessing in disguise, because now we get to finally move on from the Perrion Winfrey experiment and sign a real defensive tackle, right? If Perrion Winfrey gets cut so this team can go out and sign a notable name, there are some good defensive tackles still on the market right now. Matthew Ioannidis from the Carolina Panthers is still out there. I've seen his name tossed around a bunch. Ndamukong Suh, I don't think he would sign until like halfway through the season anyway. But we're going to do a whole replacements video tomorrow, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on that. But the good news is you get to get a better defensive tackle, right? You get to replace Perrion Winfrey with someone who is better. The bad news is you don't have a clear in-house direction at that position for the next few seasons, it seems like. Perrion Winfrey leaving now makes defensive tackle a huge need for next year, which it's only next year, but you can't build a defensive line purely through the draft, through free agency and trades. At some point, you do have to hit on some of your draft picks, which they have with Myles Garrett, but 4 guys play on the defensive line. And we saw last year Garrett can't do it by himself. So it's a bummer that there is not a clear direction for an in-house candidate to be this team's leading defensive tackle for the next 4 or 5 years or so. But on the bright side, you get to move on from the head case that is Perrion Winfrey, and you get to sign a better player as a result, because there are players out there who are better at football than Winfrey. The Browns just wanted to stick by one of their own draft picks who they aren't paying a ton and see if it works out. Now they know, let's move on, let's go get a proven DT, and let's make this defense better as a result for 2023. So what is your confidence level? Scale it 1 to 10. Let me know in the comment section below. For me, my confidence level honestly went up, because the Browns got a better defensive tackle as a result of all this, because they're going to sign someone now, and that someone is better than Winfrey. Sure, it's a bummer that you won't have this new player for the next few seasons like you would have with Winfrey, but we're all in on 2023 anyway. So you might as well get the best possible roster for this season after making all the moves the Browns have already made this year. That's going to do it for us on today's show. Make sure you subscribe and make sure you join us for our live show tomorrow, Thursday, 5 o'clock Eastern. We're going to run through Perrion Winfrey replacements during our live show. So if you're curious who's still out there the Browns could sign, we will run through all the names. I'll pick my favorite ones and reveal them to you. So subscribe, join us for our live show tomorrow, and go Browns.